Okay, so I just got back watching a interesting movie. So this is Immaculate. So Immaculate is this story of a young girl who's now gone to a new place. She doesn't understand the culture, the language. She doesn't understand where she is, but she's done this all because her old church closed down and she's found a new home, basically give her servitude towards God. And whilst at this new place, she discovers it harbors some deep and dark secrets. Furthermore, she's now praised as the new Mary, as she's now with child. Somehow this child was born without sin. Essentially, she's never laid with a man or never broke her vows, but she has to come to terms with what exactly is going on and how is she now pregnant. So yeah, it stars Sydney Sweeney. If you didn't know who she was, she's the girl from Euphoria, and you might have also recognized her from Madam Web. A lot of the credit goes to her. I believe that this film was on the show for a long time, and thanks to her she's had the script and she's gone ahead and pushed it through, so it's been bankrolled by her, and a lot of the credit for this entire performance goes to her character, her acting, everything, the emotion, the anger, all that. You can see it straight on her face, and she's got one of those faces, those faces that you just look at and go, you can just read the emotion. You don't have to say a word, you can just see it on her face. And she has decided to take this trip to Italy, which has been paid by this convent, this church, and she's decided to go out there and give her vows and do the service of God. Another recognizable face that you may have actually realized was the priest in this film. Now he's played by Alvaro Monte. Now Alvaro Monte, he's one of those faces that you see, I've seen this guy before, and yes, you have seen him before. He's the professor from Money Heist. So unlike a lot of there's a lot of Catholic religious horror films out there, and like The Exorcist and stuff as well, it doesn't rely too much on the classic tropes. So the classic tropes are things like birds aimlessly going into windows and dying, and crosses going upside down. So it doesn't have too much of that. It doesn't have to rely on those tropes. I felt that a lot of times this film didn't need the jump scares. It had a very good way of building atmosphere. The first couple of acts for this film, the first and second act, it did build that suspense, did build that atmosphere. I felt that the whole red masked nun, they didn't explore that too much, left on a bit of a mystery, so I felt that could have been done better. But apart from that, it did build a lot of suspense. But I felt that the main thing that this film is going to leave you with is a shock value. So it does end, let's get to that part, Act 3 does end on something that's going to shock you towards the end. So it does have a lot of gore. I have to admit, I didn't expect it to have so much gore, but there was a lot of gore, a lot of violence, and yes, there is a big shock towards the end. So by all means, it might put off a lot of people. A lot of people might enjoy it, and I feel that this film definitely had the balls to do it, because I didn't think that they would. I thought that the film would just left and then she would have just gone off into the distance, but it does leave you with that shock value to the end. I wasn't a big fan of it, but it definitely did its job. I give it the credit that it had the balls to even do it. But I felt that third final act, they could have actually paced it really well. The first few acts they paced better. The last final act wasn't paced quite right, and I felt this movie would have been better if it was at least 1 hour 30 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes or something, but it's a 90-minute movie. I felt the ending was a bit rushed. Sydney screaming her lungs out completely. I mean, I was sitting pretty close to the film as well, and the volume was set pretty high, so I felt I could have been thrown down a bit, but I get why, but fair enough. But anyway, as a horror film, not as a movie in general, as a horror film, in that sort of field, I do give it props. I mean, I'll give it like at least 7 out of 10 based on her performance, based on Sydney Sweeney's performance. It does deserve at least 7 out of 10. So if you are into your horror films, this does deserve a watch. As a general movie entirely, I think, just thinking about all the sort of negatives and the viewpoints, maybe 6 out of 10. So this is my review of Immaculate. Maybe stream it, maybe watch it in cinemas. I think to be honest, maybe just wait for release and just watch it when it comes out on either Netflix or one of the streaming platforms out there. As always, this has been Ace, and like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Ace out.